organizations working to support credible, transparent, inclusive elections in Nigeria. Deploy observers across the 30 local government areas of Osun State to observe the governorship election held on Saturday, 15th of August, year 2026. Observation methodology. Situation observation of the year 2026 Osun State governorship election combined the deployment of accredited election observers to polling units and the use of citizen observation reporting through the situation election accountability tracker SIT mobile and web applications. In addition, the situation room received reports from its partners networks who deploy observers such as Green Foundation, Center for Democracy and Development, and King Park Development Initiative, KGI. The situation partners deployed over 300 accredited observers. In addition to this statement, situation had issued a preliminary statement and an interim statement based on reports received from accredited observers and verified citizen observers through the SIT app. Situation will make the following observations. General assessments. Situation will commend the people of Osun State for their participation in the 15th August 2026 governorship election, and in particular, the largely peaceful conduct of voters throughout the election process. In places where voting queues were still largely populated at 2:30 p.m., which was the end of voting, many voters stayed back and cast their votes. Voters were able to exercise their franchise without widespread disruption, while election observers and officials and security agencies largely discharged their responsibility in accordance with established procedures. Election administration and governance. Reports received from accredited observers and citizen observers through the SIT app indicated that election officials and materials arrived on time in majority of polling units observed between 7 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and commenced voting in 87% of the polling units observed. However, delays in the commencement of voting were reported in some locations due to late deployment of officials and logistical challenges. The circumstances surrounding the late addition of SDP candidate to the Osun State governorship ballot following the Federal High Court judgment of 22nd July 2026 made the commission subsequently reproduce ballots. We produced ballot papers and result sheets with the late production reportedly delayed the arrival of distribution of sensitive materials. Election officials generally follow the established procedure for accreditation and voting, contributing to an orderly process in the majority of polling units observed. Voters assembled daily and there was steady participation throughout the election process. According to the figures announced by ANEC, out of the total of 2,339,233 registered voters in the state, 1,906,390 voters collected their PVCs, representing 1.50%. Were correct. Final figures of total voters cast. Total votes cast is 1,505,800, representing a commendable voter turnout of approximately 43.2%. Functionality of election technology. There were reports of technical difficulties involving primordial voter accreditation system (BVAS) and other aspects of the accreditation process. BVAS deployment resulted in prolonged waiting times and congestion at polling units with large registered voters, where only one people's device were reportedly available. While technology remains an important instrument for improving electoral integrity, technical failures can undermine confidence when they delay accreditation or create uncertainty about the validity of the process. Some instances of reverse malfunction or delays were recorded across several local government areas, such as follows. In Iran local government was 11 Iperi, PU Omotosho, Rivers was reportedly not recognizing elderly voters. Uregoju local government was 6 PU 17, fingerprint authentication was not working, requiring INEC officials to use facial verification. Similar diverse facial verification challenges were observed at 3 polling units visited Ayodele local government, Lankera and Amora Ward, PU 1001, figures were reportedly very slow. I had difficulty recognizing the faces of some older voters. Iwekwere local government, Ward 9, PU 7, Country Lodge, figures were reported to be very slow with difficulty capturing the faces of both older and younger voters. The report suggests that the challenges were particularly affecting facial recognition of elderly voters and the speed of accreditation. Situation further notes that the upload of polling unit results to INEC result viewing portal progressed significantly from about 3:49 p.m. to the first upload when the first upload was observed. 98.43% of the results have been uploaded on the RF as at 16th August 2026. Security environment. Supervision will commence the security agencies for maintaining generally peaceful environment during the elections, especially as the electoral environment preceding the election day was highly tense, while security personnel were visible at all polling units and election materials observed. There were reports of isolated incidents of harassment, thuggery, and vote buying. Vote buying and electoral inducement. The situation remains concerned about the reports of vote trading and voter inducement during the election. Vote buying represents a direct assault on the principle of free choice and undermines the democratic value of elections. Ishakan local government aligned Osun Osun Health Office PU 006. APC party agents reportedly called voters to the corner after voting and ticked their names on the voters list. Iloepedu local government Ward 2 PU 7. Vote buying was reported with suspicion of vote selling as voters reportedly wrote their names with certain party agents after casting their votes. If a East local government modern Ward 08 PU and community grammar school Toro Road, votes raising across party lines was reported. After voting, voters reportedly displayed a sign indicating their preferred party, after which party agents recorded their names and vote numbers and provided voters with a tag. Sharing of jollof rice and drinks, a BU 008 Ward 6 is open local government, which caused disorderliness. Compliance with election procedures. Election officials largely adhere to prescribed voting procedures in observed polling units. Polling officials demonstrated familiarity with election guidelines and voting procedures, except in a few cases. Ahead of the election, INEC announced that voters seeking replacement of PVCs could download their replacement card with the download windows closing on 9th August 2026, 6 days before the election. Supervision notes that this was used in Osun State governorship election. Inclusion and accessibility. Supervision observed a positive side to its accessibility observation. There were both posters present for deaf voters in most polling units observed, except in a few places. Concerns around inclusivity include polling units located in inaccessible places with gutters and staircases. Two, limited availability of disability inclusive resources in many polling units. General key concern. Supervision notes the concern because of one, delayed congestion and some difficulties reported as some polling units with large numbers of registered voters, where inadequate reverse deployment resulted in prolonged waiting times. Alleged incidents of those inducements in many polling locations, although this time more discreet. Delays in the opening of polls in certain areas owing to late arrival and distribution of materials caused by the reproduction of ballot papers. Isolated issues of inadequate provision of chairs and tables for the army officials. Unavailability of EC40H, which is used to capture information on voters with disability. Looking ahead, the Osun State governorship election provides important lessons for Nigerians' preparation for the 2027 general elections. The election demonstrates that technology can strengthen electoral transparency, but technology alone cannot guarantee credible elections. Electoral integrity requires the combined effectiveness of political parties, security agencies, the judiciary, citizens, observers, and the media. The Osun State experience exposes a systematic risk where judicial determinations affecting candidates can disrupt ballot production, logistics, voter education, and the overall electoral timetable, and political parties. The Judiciary and National Assembly should review the incident and ensure expeditious determination of electoral disputes. Situation recommends that one, electoral petitions should be handled within the constitutional and statutory timelines while ensuring adequate opportunity for parties to present and challenge evidence. Security agencies need to continue to strengthen mechanisms for preventing electoral offences, including voter inducement and intimidation. Third, political parties should deepen internal democratic practices and promote issue-based campaigns. Four, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, INEC, and security agencies must strengthen mechanisms for detecting, investigating, and prosecuting electoral offences relating to vote buying. Five, INEC should conduct a comprehensive post-election audit of recent obstacle elections or key parts of the electoral process in order to strengthen its processes ahead of the 2027 general elections, including one, logistics and deployment of personnel and materials, polling unit opening times, reverse performance and accreditation challenges, electronic transmission and publication of results, security conduct and reported incidents, accessibility of polling units and complaints received, and actions taken in response. The review should not be treated as an internal administrative exercise. INEC should engage political parties, civil society organizations, election observers, the media, and other stakeholders in a transparent post-election learning process. Conclusion. The situation commends the people of Osun State for turning out to exercise their democratic rights and for the largely peaceful manner in which the election was conducted. We also commend all the candidates and all them and their supporters that set the mark on peaceful outcome of the election peacefully, while exercising their constitutional right to seek legal redress where they believe violations occurred. Situation will cause on the governor-elect, the state government, the state house of assembly, the political parties, and all citizens to make the post-election period an opportunity to deepen democratic accountability, strengthen institutions, and promote inclusive governance in Osun State. As Nigeria moves towards the 2027 general election, the situation will urge all stakeholders to build on the positive lessons of Osun State while urgently addressing the weaknesses identified. Nigeria's democracy must move from elections that are mainly conducted to elections that are demonstrably credible, transparent, accountable, and trusted by the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you.